Hey guys, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to our channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a classic smoky eye look for date night. I love smoky eye looks. I think they can look so classy and elegant, but also sultry and alluring at the same time. And there are so many different variations that you can do with different colors and tones, so they're very versatile. Because this look is for date night, you can get away with wearing a darker, more intense look. Smoky eyes are great because they draw attention up to your eyes and they can emphasize your eye shape, or you can use smoky eyes to create a different eye shape that you may not naturally have. So if you're interested in seeing how I do a classic smoky eye look for date night, then keep on watching. First thing I'm gonna do, as always, is prime. I'm using the Rimmel Stay Matte makeup primer. This one is my absolute favorite. I heard that Rimmel discontinued this and replaced it with a new mattifying primer. I have not tried that one yet, and I'm worried it's not going to be as good as this one if they tried to reformulate this one. But if you've tried the new Rimmel mattifying primer, comment down below and let me know what you thought about it, because I want to know if it's just as good as this one or if I should stay away from it and just try to find something different when this one finally runs out for me. While that primer is soaking into my skin, I'm gonna give it a minute to soak in and do its thing. While it's doing that, I am going to prime my eyes using the MAC Pro Longwear Paint Pot in the shade Soft Ochre. This is the best eye primer that I have found because I have oily skin. My eyelids tend to also get oily throughout the day, and so this helps keep my eyeshadow from breaking apart, creasing, fading throughout the day. It is great. And I'm gonna set my eye primer in place using the MAC Semi-Sweet x9 eyeshadow. I'm gonna be using the shade Drawing a Blanc. That's pretty cute. Oh, whoops, dug my nail in. Way to go, Steph. I'm gonna be using this to set that eye primer down because it matches my skin tone. It's not gonna add any color to my lids. It's just going to set that eye primer in place. Now, normally I would go back to my skin and work on my base next, but because I'm gonna be doing a smoky eye and using darker shades and darker shadows on my eyes today, I'm going to do my base last in case there's any fallout. That way I can just clean it up and then put my base on. When you're doing smoky eye looks like this, remember to do your eyes first and then go back and do your base to make it look flawless and perfect without any fear of fallout. All right, so I'm gonna be sticking with the same MAC eyeshadow palette, and I'm gonna be using the color here in the middle. This one is called Bamboo. This is gonna be my first shade, and it's gonna act as my transition shade. I have needed a lot of practice. Smoky eyes are not just done by slapping some black eyeshadow on your eyelid and calling it a day. That was pretty much what I used to do when I was younger, before I found YouTube and makeup tutorials. So now I have learned that to successfully create a beautiful looking smoky eye, you need to work with small amounts of eyeshadow at a time, and you need to make the colors of the shadow kind of blend into one another. And you want the darkest shadow in a smoky eye to be closest to your eye, so on your lid. But then as the colors go up your lid, you want them to get lighter and lighter and lighter. So you want the colors to be blended and for the color to gradually get lighter as it goes up your eyelid. So that's why I'm starting with a lighter transition shade in my crease, because this is going to be the lightest shade in my smoky eye. All right, now I'm going back into my Ryza, still don't know how to pronounce that one, little quad, and I'm going to take the matte brown shade in here, and I'm going to put that also in my crease, but slightly lower than that Bamboo shade went. Just using the same blending brush. So I'm working that backwards and forwards in my crease to blend it out. And that just added a bit more depth in my crease. So now we're looking a little bit darker than we were before. And again, work with small amounts of shadow at a time. That way you don't put too much on at one time, because it is much easier to add more pigment than it is to take it away. All right, now using a smaller blending brush, I'm gonna go back into that MAC palette and I'm gonna take this shade right here called Persuade. I'm gonna put this on my lid, right where I put that matte brown shade from the last palette. So I'm just packing the color on now, and then I will go back and blend it out. I'm gonna take my blending brush, same blending brush I used before, and blend that into the other shades. All right, now it is time for the darkest shade on our lids, and to do that, I'm gonna be using the That's So Betty eyeshadow. This packaging, it's so cute. But it's the That's So Betty eyeshadow in the shade Up Past Midnight, and it looks like this. Very shimmery. So every other shade that I used before this shade was matte, but I want to have a little bit of shimmer right on the lid just to draw some attention there and make my eyes look a little bit bigger. I'm not sure if this shade is going to be able to hold up by itself, if it's gonna be dark enough or if it's gonna look too gray or silver on the lid. If it's not dark enough or not as dark as I want it to be, I'm gonna put a black base underneath and then go over top of it with this to see if I can still get the shimmer from this, but have that black base underneath to make it as dark as I want it. So to put this one on, I'm gonna use my finger since it is a shimmer. I find that using my fingers with shimmers is just the best. It gets the most pigment on your eyes, and then you can always go back with a blending brush and blend it out, but I think fingers just work the best with shimmers. All right. Let's see how this goes. Ooh! I'm gonna try and build it up to see if I can get it even darker. So I'm gonna add another layer with my finger to make it a little bit more opaque. Oh my goodness, that shimmer is gorgeous. Okay, now I'm gonna go back with my blending brush to blend that into the other shades so there's not this harsh line right in the middle of my lid. All right, just looking at it in the mirror, I think I wanna add just a little bit more of that matte brown shade that I used before this darker one. I wanna add a little bit more of that back to make things look a little bit more blended and put together. There we go, that's much better. Just needed a little bit more depth higher up in the crease and in the socket of my eye. I feel like doing that just made my eyes look a little bit bigger and everything just a little bit more blended together. All right, so that is the basic shadow done. We're gonna go back in and highlight the brow bone and inner corner, and I am gonna do the lower lash line, but I wanna put my foundation and concealer and powder on first, and then go back in with eyeshadow in the lower lash line to finish up the look. So date nights are usually pretty special occasions around here. So because of that, I like to switch up some of the products that I use to make it feel a little bit more fancy and just a little bit more special than using my everyday makeup products. So on an everyday basis, I pretty much just wear a BB cream, but today I'm gonna go in with something more full coverage. This one is new to me. This is the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Plus Color Correcting Full Coverage Cream. With more full coverage products like this, I typically like to apply them with a brush. I'm just gonna use a flat top kabuki brush to apply it. I'm just gonna dot it on first because I know they said it's supposed to be full coverage and I don't want to put too much on at once. Little earring. Okay, time to set everything down. And for that, my current favorite setting powder is this Nakia Joy Cosmetics Velvet Finishing Powder. It is translucent. This looks the smoothest on my skin and it blurs everything out. It blurs out my pores. It sets my makeup down. It is aptly named because it does make your skin look like velvet. All right, now my base is done. It's been powdered. Now I am ready to go back to my eyes. All right, so for my lower lash line, I'm gonna take a smaller blending brush and I'm gonna go back into that bamboo shade that I used. That was my first transition shade, and I'm gonna run that right on my lower lid. Typically I don't like to do a lot on my lower lash line or have the shadow come down too far, but since this is a smoky eye with such intense dark colors, don't be afraid to make your lower lash line just as smoky as your top lid. The only other thing I'm gonna do on my lower lash line is take an even smaller pencil brush, looks like this, and I'm gonna take this super dark brown shade called Dance in the Dark, and I'm gonna put that right underneath my lashes. This is not gonna come down far at all. I just want this right underneath my lashes to deepen that up a little bit. All right, now back with that original blending brush, I'm just going to take it, run it along the shadow I just placed down, and blend those two shades together. Now the bottom lash line is just as smoky as the top. It brings your whole look together just by adding a little bit of shadow to that lower lash line. It just balances it out a little bit. All right, now it's time for some eyeliner. So for the top, my top liner, I'm going to be using my Physicians Formula Eye Booster in black, and I'm going to do a wing because I love winged liner. I feel like it looks the best on my eye shape. You can do whatever kind of liner you feel most comfortable with. I'm going to do a wing because I think that looks the best on me. All right, liner is on. Now for my lower waterline, I'm going to be using the Araceli Gel Pencil Eyeliner in black. And just look at the difference between this eye and this eye. Now this eye is so much more defined. It just makes such a difference in that lower waterline. Brows. Brows are next. For brows, I'm going to be using my Maybelline Brow Ultra Slim pencil in blonde. All right, brows are done. Just make everything look more put together. For bronzer today, I'm going to be using the Maybelline City Bronzer in the shade 100. It's smooth. It's a nice shade for me. It's not too warm. I just put it towards like the middle to bottom of my cheekbones, start up on my ear. But this one is a really nice shade. It's smooth, it's easy to apply. Just an overall nice bronzer. I also bring the bronzer up to my forehead, around my hairline. And other side. And instead of actually contouring my nose, because I rarely do that, I just take some of my bronzer. I kind of just brush a little bit on where a nose contour kind of would go, just to give it a little bit more definition, just like that. And if you feel like you put too much on, you can always take a fluffy powder brush like this one and just pat and go over it. This just blends it out a little bit more and makes it a little bit less intense. All right, for blush today, I'm gonna be using the Milani Rose Powder Blush in Coral Cove. This is probably my favorite blush, but it is very pigmented, so you only need a very small amount. All right, now highlight. For today's look, I'm gonna be using the Colored Rain Focal Point Glow Lighter in the shade Selfie. It is a really pretty kind of peachy gold, but on the skin it looks really natural. I'm just gonna apply this to the top, very tops of my cheekbones. Oh my goodness, that is lovely. All right, so I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna put a little bit on the end of my nose. And on my Cupid's bow. I want to use a highlight on my brow bone. For that, I'm going to use the Ofra highlighter in the shade Star Island. So I'm going to use this to highlight my brow bone, and I'm going to put a little bit on the inner corner of my eye as well. adding some highlight to your inner corners not only makes your eyes look bigger, but it makes them look more awake too. All right, blush, bronzer, and highlight are finished. Now it is time for mascara and then lips. So for mascara today, always my go-to, no matter what kind of look I'm doing. It could be my everyday natural look. It could be a dark smoky eye date night look like this. I love this stuff. This is the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara. It is the green packaging. I know they have different kinds of this. This green one is amazing. It makes my lashes look so long and volumized. It is so nice. Daniel always makes fun of me for the way that I put on mascara because he thinks it's funny the way that my eyes open and then close onto the mascara wand. But you know what? We all make weird faces while doing our makeup, so he can laugh at me all he wants. I don't know if you can hear him, but right now Juju is trying very hard to get my attention. So because this look is so dark and intense, I'm gonna put a second layer of mascara on and see if that helps my lashes show up a little bit more. I would typically wear He's laying on his back trying to get me to rub his belly right now. Oh my goodness. I typically wear 2 coats of mascara on my lashes no matter what kind of look I'm doing. This one might require a third, or at least going back over the very ends of my lashes so that they stand out a little bit against this dark look. They're so long and volumized and separated. This mascara is so amazing. I'm gonna use the same mascara on my lower lash line. And again, with the weird faces, I know, it just can't be helped. All right, and very last step, my very last step always is lips. So because the attention is supposed to be on the eyes, I'm going to be putting on a more nude lipstick. I'm gonna use the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink Lipstick in Poet. These lipsticks are amazing if you have not tried them yet. Once you put them on and they dry, they are there forever. I have another one of these and I wore this to dinner with Daniel one night and it stayed on the entire time I was eating and drinking. It didn't budge. It didn't start looking weird or patchy. It was so nice. One thing I will say though is they do take some time to dry down. It takes a few minutes for them to stop feeling sticky, but once they do dry down, they are there for the night. And here is the finished look. I love it. This turned out better than I expected. It had been a while since I had done a smoky eye, so I was a little nervous that this was gonna be a train wreck, but I think it turned out so well. I hope you guys found this video helpful and maybe a little inspiring for what you can do next time you have a date night or just a special night out. If you did like this video and found it helpful, you can give it a thumbs up. Also, comment down below, what are some of your favorite go-to makeup looks, either for date night or just every day? I'm always looking for new ideas to try, and also subscribe to our channel. Make sure that you click the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my future uploads. I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!